What's up, everybody? What are we talking about today?
Oh, boot camp.
Yeah. Who can't? Woo! All right, how are we gonna do this? Boot camp. Where
So
do we start? Where do we
start
start?
which boot camp did you go to, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
what's
that's
the
right.
reason why you went to the east and I went to the west? So we could start off like that.
Yeah, so I think we should first say okay. And for Marine Corps Bootcamp, there's only two places, right? Is that correct? Paris
Yes.
Island in the for the East Coast Marines, and then Camp Pendleton. No, is it Camp Pendleton? Right?
No, it's
It's not
MCR.
Camp.
It's a
Yeah,
San
MCRD. It's in San Diego, right? All right, but it's close to Pendleton. We don't know in the East Coast. We just call you guys Hollywood Marines. If you come out of San Diego or West Coast boot camp, you're called Hollywood Marines.
I guess so.
What do they call us? Did they call us anything?
I just Paris Island, but I just
Just the
what
real
I
Marines. The real
no
Marines.
no no. What I heard is there's just a lot of ticks and bugs.
Yeah, the sand fleas. Oh man! But you guys got the hills, the ankle breakers, right?
Yeah.
The
Oh, give me 1 second. Damn, my dog's really barking. Hold on.
she knew we started. That's why. Yeah. So there's two places. One is MCRD in the West Coast, and then Paris Island in Georgia, I believe, South Carolina, and for the East Coast Marines. There's only one place in boot camp for female Marines, right? So the only place that they have female Marines is East Coast in Paris Island, which is the 4th Battalion. So whether if you're a female going to the Marine Corps, even if you're from California or the West Coast, they'll send you to East Coast because that's where they make real Marines.
No.
Like, I'm just joking.
You guys don't even hike anywhere, really, or no?
What do you mean? We don't call it hike, right? We go on humps.
Oh, sorry.
Not a nature walk, right?
Yeah. So tell us about man. It all starts with the yellow footprints. Tell us.
Yeah, definitely. Like? I think it starts before the yellow footprint, though. Honestly, man. I remember. Okay, last episode we talked about. We briefly touched us leaving. You know how in the middle of the night when the recruiter picks us up in the middle of the night and takes the children away. Right? Is that what it's like what they do? Like, yeah. Why the middle of the night when nobody can see you?
Yeah.
Nobody's awake. That's such a weird thing. And I think why isn't it like at least after dinner or
like your last meal or something? It's
no, well, it is after dinner. But how about in the morning when after a good night's rest? Now they gotta get you like they come this. Oh, you know what? That's how they do it though. Like when we do a secret operation or when we do a raid in combat, when we try to take down a high priority target, we come in the middle, the least expected time, drop in, come in and get them, snatch them up and bounce, right? That's what they do. If anything, that's what they do. It's like, when's the best time to go get these new recruits? Oh, in the middle of the night, when they're most tired, when they're most, not thinking straight. It's funny. Maybe, right? It's such a weird thing. I'm sure there's reasons. That's one thing that you learn in boot camp. Everything that they do is for a reason. When you get punished, everything that even shit that doesn't make sense later on, there's all a reason for it.
Yeah, there's always a reason behind what their methods and teaching and everything. So,
so it starts. I think leaving, because I think for a lot of people leaving home, and I don't know, I don't know the numbers, but for many people, I would think leaving home is the one of the hardest thing that boot camp makes you do, is to leave for it. or at least to wake up for it, right? Because they pick you up in the middle of the night, unless you're like that hyped and you don't sleep, but you're not even there yet unless you've been training.
And did you sleep that night? Because I don't remember getting a lot of sleep. Yeah,
I slept, but then I woke up like I forgot really early, and then got ready and just waited with my parents. Like everyone's in the living room just it's very dark. Nobody wants to talk really, and it's because it's so early. My parents are drinking coffee, and uh, I'm just sitting there watching TV. Like I forgot, it was like nothing really on at like 3 in the morning or something like that, right? And, it's like that quietness where it's like, man,
Like
you're
shit's going down.
something's about to go down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that everyone's just like, and then when it's time, it's like that's when noise starts coming about, like, like, oh my god. And then my parents are like, my mom and my sister, my sister's like, oh, I miss you, they're good, be careful. My mom's like, I love you. And then my dad, remember I told you that when I hugged my dad, he's like, don't get a tattoo.
Damn.
That was his word. But he always told me, all you gotta do is yes sir, no sir, and that's it, and
That's
do the
it.
shit.
Yeah.
And he was just telling me straight up, yes sir, no sir, and that's it. That's all he said. But then he doesn't know about I sir.
Or this recruit.
Yeah, this recruit, which is, but that's what, but his, the general idea, yeah, it is that, yo, yes sir, no sir,
Yeah.
and do the shit. So yeah, it starts from there, and for me, and the recruiter came. I remember going on the drive, which is early, and we went to where we have it is in Brooklyn, and that's where everyone gathers up. Went to the plane. Fast forward, I remember going onto the plane and sitting next to another recruit, or
Yeah.
Poolie at that time, right? I don't know when it starts. I think you start a recruit once you step on the yellow footprint, right?
Yep.
It's when you rank, right? And like like, oh, I'm here.
I'm here, ranked
But
up.
I'll tell you, man. I tell you, on the way, so that from New York to South Carolina, or Georgia, I forgot where we went, but Georgia, South Carolina to Paris Island. Well, we didn't get to Island. There's no airport. We got to take another bus from the airport. So once we get to the airport, it was dark. I remember, or it seemed dark, but we're just all huddled into this group, and they made us stand there in formation in the attention for fucking, I don't know how long, man. I
Yeah.
really don't know how long,
Like
but to the
hours,
point, yeah, it just felt so long. My traps started getting like as if we were lifting weights, as if we were doing shoulder workouts. And I just remember, I'm like, holy crap, this is. But what they're doing is conditioning you.
Yeah.
Starting from there, they're conditioning you there.
Yeah. They want to get your bearing and everything. Yeah.
Bearing, to be able to stand up straight. They know that standing up straight, we're fucking lazy people, we're all these shovel, but standing up straight is now you're working out the muscle. And that's starting from there, they're making us work out our muscles, like, being able to stand at attention, and our back straight, shoulders, chest out, and to be quiet, and we're just quiet standing there. And I remember, I think somebody whispered like, what time is it? I was like, oh, everyone's like, I don't know. Like, we're all scared too, in a sense, we don't know, because we couldn't look around. It's like, is he behind us? Is he next to us? We don't know. Like, and then like, all right, everyone go. And then, they tell us what to do. We're gonna, like, finally, you're like, oh, but it's like every time when something happens, starting from there, everything's intense. Right?
Yeah.
Everything you do in boot camp is gonna be intense. Like, and they tell you that too. Move with speed and intensity.
Right.
Do shit fast. Move, even if it's to grab something. Don't just, No, you gotta grab it with some fucking with some aggression, with some intensity. And so we went there, and then you get on the bus. We got on the bus to go to the Paris Island, and starting from there, you're a prisoner of war. Keep your head down.
Yeah, put your head down, tuck it in.
Yeah, you're not allowed to see shit. You don't know where you're going. You're technically a prisoner of war, right? That's what they teach you. So you when you go to boot camp, you're in the sense of prisoner of war, in the sense where you're only allowed religion, and mail, and food. That's it. And hey, what else do you need? What else do you need? Food, letters from home, and the practice. You practice religion.
Yeah.
So that's what we're about, man.
It's the same experience for me too, man. Like, literally woke up crack of dawn, 3-4 in the morning, and I don't know, the air seemed colder. I don't know, like I still could feel it right now, where everything's slow motion. You have so many thoughts in your head, like, okay, am I gonna die today or in 3 months? Or, but my mentality was like, just don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Just keep pushing, keep pushing. So it was just funny how, like you said, that you had to tuck in your head. Like, same thing too. We had to ride the bus, and what sucks about MCRD here in San Diego, we're right by the airport, so you just hear it
Ah.
plane all the time, the plane. So all from jump, you're already homesick. You're like, if I just smuggle myself in that plane, I'll
I
be all
heard
right.
about that. I
Yeah.
heard about that. That the the airport, you see the airplane in the middle of training, like, and you just want to go home because you see society.
Yeah.
In the East Coast, we're on an island,
Wow.
and there's only one little bridge. That's like a 2-lane bridge, I think. I don't even know because we never got to see it. I only saw it on the way out going
Yeah.
home. And at that time, I didn't even pay attention. I'm just excited to go home. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
leaving. And, but yeah, that's it. So you're on this island, once you get there and you don't even know where you are, how, you don't know anything. Even if you wanted to escape,
Yeah.
that's part of the plan. They don't let you know how to escape because you had your head down the whole time, that you don't know the way in or out, where you are in this world, in the sense of, if I wanted to leave or run away. And they also tell stories that there's alligators there, and people got, I don't know if the stories are true. I
Uh-huh.
never did my own research on that one, but I don't know. That's a story that if the only way to cross without being seen, to get off this island, is to swim across the swamp,
Oh.
swim in the water, and you gotta fight alligators.
So,
But there are people that died, that I heard. There are recruits that have
oh,
have tried to escape,
dang.
to run away. There are people that quit, that, and yeah. So yeah, once you get off the bus, the yellow footprints, they're notorious for Marine Corps boot camp. Now,
Yeah.
just for a difference, like, I don't know much about Navy boot camp and Army basic training, and I don't even know what Air Force calls their basic training. I'm guessing basic. I don't know, because I know Marine Corps is the only one that calls it boot camp, and I think Navy started calling their basic training boot camp. We
Okay.
don't call our shit basic training. We call
No.
it boot camp.
Yeah.
There's nothing basic about it. No, well, that's the one thing you'll learn in the Marines. Which is, I strongly believe in this. What they do, we change the names of things. So,
Mhm.
like, it's stupid too, for some of them. You might think, I don't know, but like, for a pen, we call it ink stick.
Ink stick. Yeah.
Yeah. The belt is a web belt or whatever. Or no, that is right. Trousers are always,
Yeah, I never heard
trousers.
the starboard side, and I like some of
Yeah,
these.
that's Navy talk. That's Navy talk, though. That's we talk like sailors, and we talk like sailors and fight like soldiers, something like that. You ever heard about that? That's what the
No.
Marine Corps is.
Oh, I didn't know.
Anyways, yeah, and so yeah, even so, like, so we'll change boot camp. We strictly call it boot camp. Um, we're very detailed, right, and everything. You say, so fighting hole is one of the big things.
Yeah.
Because like in the Army they call it foxholes,
Yeah, a
and we
foxhole.
call it we call it fighting holes, because foxes hide in their holes. We don't hide in. We're not. Those holes are not meant to hide in. They're, huh?
Another knock to the army, guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not. It's, it's the facts, though. I'm not. I'm telling you, there's a lot of hardcore Army guys, man, soldiers. Trust, obviously, right?
Yeah.
It's just that there's a lot of soldiers, so the probability of having bad soldiers are gonna be higher. It's, with another variable, that their training isn't as extensive as ours, or intense, or as I don't know much, though, but I want to say that it's not as well thought out,
Yeah, of course
from
not.
what I hear. Though, and this coming from soldiers. And I'm not okay. Yeah, it's hard to not sound like I'm shitting, like we're shitting on it, without, I'm just
It's just
saying,
a friendly rivalry. It's just
it's
friendly.
not even right. I'm just telling you the differences. I'm just really telling you the difference. I'm not even trying to be like, we're better. I, if I say these facts, and you want to base your opinion on these facts and say, okay, yeah, Marine Corps training is harder, or they do run longer, they do shoot further, they do the training is a longer time frame, then I don't know what to tell you. You know,
But let's get back to, like I said, you step on the yellow footprints, you're in your formation, and you hear that drill instructor introduce himself. Wow, how's that like?
I don't know if they, well, they don't introduce just themselves. They straight up yell at. Well, they give you like they always give you orders. They always, so the best thing of the Marine Corps is like, or and maybe the military in general is like the leaders will always tell you what to do. They're not gonna just yell at you for no reason.
Right.
And that's, you know, something you got to be observant about, and make a what differentiates from in general a good leader versus, you know, not a good leader, one that just yells, or one that yells with direction, with more information, with, you know, or you're doing this wrong, or, you know, they're not just yelling at you, you're an idiot, you know.
Right.
But they yell at you, they're like, get off my bus, or they'll tell you what to do, like, all right, as soon as you get off this bus, this is what you gotta do, you know, you gotta this, and then put your feet on this yellow fucking footprints, you understand? You understand? You know? Yeah. I want you to every time I say something, you respond with "I sir, I sir, I sir." You know, it's like stuff like that. They'll tell you what to do, and sometimes you don't even understand what they're saying.
I don't.
Yeah, you don't understand. It's just kind of you gotta think faster and like, what's everyone else doing, and then do it. And so we get off the bus, and then it's because you're going from quiet. You're going from quiet peacefulness, right? You're on the bus with the head down, and then everything's quiet and peaceful, and then again intensity when you're doing something. Get off this bus, get on the footprints, lights are on, it's dark, everything's dark. I'm pretty sure it's always dark. Even the videos that I've seen on YouTube, like, it's dark, and that's how it was for me, right? So they do everything in the fucking middle of the night, the transportation, transporting prisoners. It's always that under disclosure, and then you see everybody in jeans. I remember that's like in colored shirts, everything. Everyone is different, long hair, and then, you know, you're stepping on the yellow footprint, and then they make you go into the double doors, and then you're always in line. You're always waiting online to do something. And what was it to do? The first thing they make you do is call home.
Yep.
And there's this placard on the next to the phone. So there's like a few phones lined up, and everyone's waiting on that line to go. And you are only allowed to say whatever is on that
placard.
Yeah, and it says it's for the same thing. And if nobody picks up, I think you're screwed, right?
Yep.
Because it's like really early in the morning.
Yeah.
I remember. So I called. I'm like, oh man, I have no one picks up, because it was just my parents and my sister at home.
Yeah.
And it was in the middle of the night, and my sister picks up.
Nice.
And a house phone, you know, it's a house phone. This is like 2004, so there was no cell phone. If the phone is ringing in the middle of the night, everybody, you know, back then, everyone hears that shit. There's no vibration, you know. These days, nobody calls in the middle of the night. It's rude. And so, but back then, like, you know, you had to call. I mean, you had to pick up the phone, because you don't know who's calling in the middle of the night. It could be an emergency. It could be somebody telling you, get the fuck out of the house. Because the information wasn't readily at our hands, you know. So anyway, so you pick up the phone. So my sister picks up the phone, and I read the thing. I remember it was just like, this is recruit, and then there's like a blank space. You fill in your name. This is recruit Kim. I made something along the lines like, I have arrived safely wherever to MCRD or Paris Island. I made it safe, and don't send me. I think I remember sending, like, don't send me this and this and that, and I will something about, like, basically saying, I'll call you, don't call me. Like, don't wait for me to call you, like, you know, I mean, don't wait.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know when's the next time I'm gonna call you, so don't worry, you know, because that's what happens. Like, people call, like, send letters, call their senators, or, you know, write a letter saying like, oh, I haven't heard from my son,
Right.
you know, or daughter, you know, is he okay? There's training, and, you know, obviously, because rightfully so, you know, parents are going to be worried, or family members, or the loved one. But so yeah, you say that, and I remember I said that to my sister, and then I snuck in, love you. I said, I love you.
Aw, the
I love her.
payloader,
I love my
the payloader.
sister. And she was, I don't know, I forgot she said something. She, she, I don't know if she was laughing or something, maybe. And then and my sister, she's also a sailor. Not at that time. She joined the Navy, I think, like a year after me. Who's my older sister? So my older brother, and my one of my older sister is both military.
Oh man.
So we're military. So, anyways, yeah, and that's what happened with my phone call. Do you remember? Do you remember a lot of
That's
that stuff?
great. Cause like that was like maybe a small amount because there's so many great memories and bad memories, but just you just go on the phone, just like you said, you're all lined up, and then yeah, this recruit so made safely. You gotta say it fast because
Yeah,
imagine like 10 people are lined up saying the same thing, and there's a drill instructor walking, just pacing back and
yeah,
forth. And you better say the right thing. So for you to sneak, I love you, man. That was cool.
yeah. I snuck that shit in. I snuck that in.
And
Chris
then
Navy Hero.
what was it? You get your stuff or you get your haircut? I don't remember what went first, but
I
I just remember
I
right.
want to I want to say it was we move into getting our stuff.
Oh, okay. So then you get
I
a
think.
laundry basket. I think you get like a netting basket full of items. So you get your camis, you get flashlight. I don't know. You get a bunch of stuff that you're gonna need, obviously. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So whether regardless if that's the next step or you get your haircut, because it's gonna happen.
right.
And then you stand in line. Let's say next is to get your haircut. Then you stand in line as a barber. It's like, for us, I think it was like two barbers,
Oh wow.
but they're and now I don't know how many people there are that they had to cut. They had to cut maybe, like, I don't know how many recruits are there when they
Usually
come in one shipment.
it's like 70 to 80 per platoon.
Platoon.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine what, 3 times or 4 times that?
Something like that, right? It's like cut three platoons, right? That you start with,
Yeah.
or something. But it's a big number.
Yeah.
So having just a few barbers
Yeah.
cutting that X amount of hairs, what they do, they sit you on a chair. You're now cattle, right? Now you are cattle, and I'll tell you why and it'll come out more proven later after I explain it. Whatever you do, now they put you on a chair. These guys are not. You're not gonna get your nice
Fade.
your
You
a
ain't gonna get no
fade,
fade.
and you
Taper.
might even bleed. I don't even know, because they go hard. They're like, rant,
Oh yeah.
rant, rant. They buzz your head, and it's not the cleanest haircut. I had like a bunch of
Patches.
patches. I'm like touching my head. I'm like, come on. And then
Yeah.
they rip the sheet off you, and then next, boom, put the next person. Yeah, and they don't clean it. They don't do it. Dude, it's just pumping you, and your long hair is gone.
Goodbye. Kiss it goodbye.
But everything's gone. And then let's say after that is to get your equipment, all your gear, your uniform, so that there's not a drill instructor, but a Marine. The way
Who's
they
based
talk
out of
to,
yeah.
yeah, who's stationed there, right? So he'll tell you, this is, pick your trousers up, and then, you pick up each one. Everything is by the numbers. Something called by the numbers.
Right.
Individually, you pick up your trousers, and by the numbers is like, and all right, and count to 10. You put that down, and then everything's like in detail. Hope this
Yeah.
doesn't fall. Everything's in detail. So that I remember. Oh, and that by then, I just remember when we were getting our uniforms and stuff like that. I was so sleepy.
Right.
Everybody was so sleepy, man. We
Yeah.
were so tired. I think we haven't slept since
You got picked up.
so
Yeah.
it's like it's been a couple of days. I think because indocking is, I believe, is so boot camp is 13 weeks technically, right? It's 13 weeks. That 1 week is for indocking, I believe. I could be so mistaken. Like the first 3 days is for indocking, like getting your uniform, getting your haircut, getting all
Medical
that.
record, your shot,
So that's what I mean. So, and then the next day, so I believe the third day is after we're all in uniform. And you go into a squad bay, from what I remember. You put in a squad bay. You're with that indocking platoon before you go to your actual assigned battalion and
Yeah.
assigned platoon, and the next day I remember we got assigned to that place, and then I think we went with once you get assigned to the platoon takes you to all the medical, or I think it's before you go to the platoon. I'm not sure, but regardless, you have to go through your medical, and what that is, that's where the cattle starts forming too. So just like the haircuts, we had to. We're just all in a line with the sleeves up. Remember, you're
Yeah.
just with sleeves up, and you're walking, and there's people on each side of you. There's Marine, or no, they're corpsmen in the Navy. We don't, Marines don't have medics like the Army. We're a department of the Navy, so we use the Navy's
Yeah. Yeah.
corpsmen, which are like the Navy's medics. The docs. We call them docs, and so does the Army call them the docs, but they're docs. And you see one on each side, multiple, and you're just walking through that like cattle, like, and then they sticking one sticking one
Yeah.
stick,
You
one
get a
stick,
shot to your
wipe
left,
wipe
a shot to
wipe
your right,
wipe stick, like dude, I don't know what they didn't, no, I have no idea what we got stuck
you get a
with.
shot already.
I have no idea. And like I remember that we had to go back, sit down. We're all just like sitting there. It was, yeah, and it was like cattle, man. It's like a bunch of recruits that don't know shit, you
Yeah.
know.
So they call it the first phase, basically.
Oh yeah, phase one, yeah.
Yeah, phase one, where you're well, they call it a cover, but your hat
Mhm.
is like really goofy. You just look goofy. Like your pants look goofy. You're folding your camis. Like you don't look like a Marine. Obviously, you
Oh,
still
100%. You don't know.
yeah, you still look like a slob.
Yeah.
So like everything's loose, like you said. So you have all your gear, you everything, you're in boot camp, and this is where it gets a little funner, I guess, if you want to say.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. They make you earn that shit, right? Because when you look, man, when you're like in phase one, there's phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 3 is when you get to trouser your boots. That's when trousering. I mean,
Basically, yeah.
not trouser your trouser. What do you call that? With the boot bands,
Yeah. I don't know
you
what
get to
you're done for it, but basically you look cleaner than obviously phase one.
you look legit. Because before that, you're okay, and you start off with sneakers called Go Fasters. We call them Go
Oh,
Fasters.
go fasters.
New Balance sneakers. I don't know if they
New
changed
Balance. Yep.
and you wear those with your uniform, so you look like, because they condition you. It's conditioning, right? Because you can't just strictly wear boots your entire time there from the beginning when your feet aren't used to wearing boots. It's gonna probably mess up your feet. I would think that's why they do that.
That's what they do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. And so you have to condition yourself into like doing all this running, marching, drilling. Remember in the phase 1, so you're drilling, doing these,
Yeah.
like marching. It's like they train you how to march. So drill is huge in boot camp. It's huge in the Marine Corps, and the why is because it installs discipline
Yep.
and obedience. So like, because drill, when you see those formation of people in the military doing formations, and they're marching to a cadence, or to one man or one woman is calling the shots, like for a group of people, like let's say 30 people, or in this case 70.
Yeah, sure.
One man is saying turn left, and everybody has to be in formation, turn left, and
Synchronized. Yeah.
be synchronized. Yeah, and that's what it is, and that's what they're teaching you, how to be obedient, and to follow orders, and to be disciplined, and to it does a lot on the body to straighten your back. You can't bounce, you gotta walk in a certain way. So it does a lot of things. I'm not just one thing, obviously, but
Where were
drilling
you
is
at the formation? Like, were you the tall bunch? Because of course I was on
nah.
the back end. I'm a short guy, so
I tell you, I'm average. I'm just in the middle.
oh,
I
okay.
mean, I was shorter in boot camp, obviously, because I was 19. I didn't hit my growth spurt till like 20. I didn't stop growing. I started growing when I went to boot camp, like 18, 19, and then I was continue growing till like 22, I think 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why, yeah. But yeah, I was like in the near, closer to the front,
Nice.
but near the middle, you know, in the hiding.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, me too. I wanted to be general population because at first they have these what squad leaders and guide. So it's a billet or a job that you pick or you get chosen. Obviously, you might not make it from phase 1 to phase 3 as a squad leader or guide. So that's what's funny when people talk about, oh yeah, I was the guide or I was a squad leader, and then sometimes you could be a guide or squad leader for an hour. You could be a
Yeah.
for a week or whatever. But basically, you're like our captain of the ship, kind of like just like
The
you're
guide, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he's supposed to guide you. So he's in the front with holding the platoon flag too. So he needs to learn how to what to do with the flag. When you're about to go, like you gotta lift it up and all that crazy stuff.
Were
And I'm
you
like,
ever, were you ever the guide or the
uh, I was gonna be a squad leader. So what happened?
what had happened was
What happened was I told you I was near the back. I guess at this time I was near the back, and we're PTing, and we're going back to the squad bay, and this other crew was just talking, like complaining about something I forgot, and I kept yelling at him like, "Shut the fuck up! You just do the like." And while yelling at him, my teacher was trying to get my attention, was calling for me, watching me,
uh-huh.
and then that made him come to me, and it just looked like I was just talking.
Yeah.
But he don't know what was happening. He goes like, and I was good, I thought. And he was like, God damn it. And, he's like, I was going to make you squad leader just right now. And he walks away.
Dang.
And I'm like, I looked at the kid and I'm like, oh, you motherfucker.
Because
That was it.
it was a big deal. Like if you
It
lasted
was.
the whole boot camp, guess what? You get a promotion. So if you come in the rank
Or guide.
for or guide, yeah, the guide actually got the promotion, not the squad leader.
Yeah. No, not squad leader. You
Uh,
get guide, and then you get to wear your blues.
oh, you got
And
to wear
then,
your blues? Oh,
when the guide, yeah, being the guide, if you graduate as a guide, you get to wear your blues, and you get to, if you're private, you get private first class.
nice.
I'm not sure if you get Lance Corporal though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Because some people come in as PFC because of their college credits and stuff
Or
like that.
just participating in the pulley program.
Oh
Or,
yeah.
yeah. So
I didn't do. I came as a straight up. I started
private,
from the bottom. Yeah, straight
yeah, I
up.
started from Nevada too. Yeah, just like Drake. Start from Nevada, now we here.
Yeah.
Because you didn't care about that stuff. You're just like, okay, I just want to survive. But
and then later on you carry like, oh, you see a lot of people transforming, man. From the shippers to they become stellar, like, and they're like yelling at each other, like, come on, hurry, motivating each other, and when I say yelling, we yell, but it's not always a negative thing. We yell a lot. You'll be yelling a lot. And okay, if you're not yelling, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You'll get in trouble for not yelling. You gotta project your voice.
Expect you exactly. The drill instructors want you to project out, want you to be chest up, and you better belch it out. Because if you don't, you're gonna belch it out about 10 more times. So
yeah, and like and everything they respond, they'll keep making you respond, like, understand? Yes, sir. Like, and like they'll make you repeat, like, what, louder, like, like, or they just keep making you repeat shit loud, because it transforms your voice. I mean, it makes it a lot louder, and that's why you get your scratchy voice, and then you're like, your voice gets shot too, if because you're building that voice. The whole point is because during war or combat, it's loud. Combat is loud, and for the other person to hear you, I know that you gotta be yelling. That's why in the movies you always hear, like, nobody's talking like, hey, can you grab that 50 cal and shoot that motherfucker? No, like, grab that 550, shoot. Like, we're yelling, everyone's yelling, like, because it's pop, and dude, it's loud, and you need a loud voice. You can't come in there as a civilian, like, where you grow up in the library,
Yeah. I don't think that worked out. But basically, did you have trouble speaking in a third person? Because that's what all recruits do. They say this. You can't say I, because what happens is the first week or 2 weeks you have to get on point. Like they don't let you slide. So of course, everybody's so used to like, oh, I want to go over here, I'm gonna go over there, but you have to speak in a third person, and that's an adjustment period. Was that easy an adjustment for you, or you having some trouble with that?
Um, it definitely wasn't easy, but I was like so much on my mind because I so so I wouldn't want to ask
Ah,
for shit.
ah,
I wouldn't even want to talk because of
right.
that, you know, because you're like,
Bubble your
because
words. Yeah.
if you go up to the to the drill instructor and like request for something, first of all, you need to ask request to speak.
Request
Okay,
permission.
to speak. But this recruit requests permission to speak
Woo!
to drill instructor, staff sergeant, whoever,
Shh.
you know, or
Imagine
senior.
saying
You
that.
better,
Imagine saying
yeah.
that.
So every time you want to open your mouth, you can raise your hand like, what? So, sir, this recruit request, you know, or whatever,
You can't
and
hear.
then or to go to the head to make a head call, which is to go to the bathroom. You know, I call the bathroom's the head, and you know, it's like, oh, permission to, and they can't deny it. But they'll ask. I've been asked many times, is it number one or number two? Two, you know. You're like, go. Cause I have like I don't have
That.
IBS, but I do have, you know, I shit a lot. I have a
Yeah.
fast digestive system or whatever metabolism,
Right.
and that's why my parents were always, my family in general would make fun of me. Like even now, like how did you how did you do this in the Marines? Like, you know, in boot camp. I literally, that's the only time I really spoke up. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah. You're gonna crap in your pants. Yeah.
Yeah. And in Crucible too, I remember the you know, the older recruits, phase 3 Marines or recruits were telling me that, you know, they would just piss in their pants
Ooh.
when, yeah.
Which I've seen that happen personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. I never did that. I went to the bathroom, or maybe I didn't hydrate enough, you know. But oh yeah, and also, you know, you know, we'll touch on everything here. I think we might even do 2 episodes of boot camp because it's a lot of
It's
details, a
a
lot of stuff.
lot of fun details too.
Yeah, so we'll right now we'll just touch a lot of stuff and go through it, and go and then backtrack and then go through the fate like as we go. But we'll jump around a little bit, but you'll get the whole feel. And so so you get to your platoon, and that's when you meet your drill instructors, your
Ooh.
senior, your teacher hat, and then your there's supposed to be 4 drill instructors and your 2 kill hats. So the senior drill instructor is the mom and dad, like the, I want to, you know, I don't want
The
to,
nurture. Yeah.
yeah, the nurture, that's the top dog, the parents, right? Let's just say it's the dad. Okay, he's not around that much. He's
Yeah.
around. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Hey, don't take it with a grain of salt what I say. All right, I don't get butthurt. Not you, but I'm just saying. So it's like the dad. You know, he's not around that much. He's, you know, but when he's there, you know, he's awesome and he treats you well and you want to please him. And he's like, oh, senior's here, and this is all strategy. Okay, this is all
Right.
strategy what they do, and even though, okay, first of all, too, even knowing this, it's not gonna affect anything. You can
You're
know
still
this
gonna
and
do
still go to boot camp and still get your ass kicked. Okay.
it.
So the senior is your dad, and he's like the guy you look up to, and you're like, he's here. Senior's teaching us today, you know, like, or seniors, it's the seniors day, senior drill instructors day to train us, to take care of us today, because everybody has their day. They do shifts,
Right.
you know. Not everyone's there. That, you know, people have time off, except for the kill hats are normally there all the time, but they have the time off too. They're human, and you know, there's laws. And so the senior is there, and you look up to him. You don't want him mad. You don't want to disappoint him, and that's how they make it. They're like, you know, and you do not want to disappoint him, and you don't want him to get mad. And then you have the teacher hat. The teacher has there more than the senior. It's like the mom. So, you know, your mom's always there taking care of you and teaching you. You know, so you gotta understand, moms are, you know, one of the best. You know,
Right.
they're if you, that's why it's so much easier to yell at your mom and hate your mom, because you're so close to her, you know. And that's how it is, I think, you know, for the most part. I'm not saying that's how every relationship is, but and then your mom's always there teaching you, and we always give moms the shit, you know, grief.
Mhm.
but they're always hard. They're working hard too. Dad's working hard too. He's working outside. He's work, and the mom's working the kids. This, I mean, in general, I'm speculating, or you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the teacher is going to be there teaching you most of the things, like about the Marine Corps, and he'll yell at you too, but not as much as the kill hats.
Ooh, speak about them.
Yeah, the kill hats are what are the teachers and the teacher hat and the senior drill instructor, um like pit bulls, right? Or like if you're doing bad, that's like drill instructors, you got them, and then they'll leave. Like, no, don't leave us with them. We don't want to be left alone with them, because their whole objective is to make your life kind of miserable.
Right.
They still teach you. They still like so you could see the attitudes difference between them. The senior is like very like fatherly, very firm, and teaches you things, and teaches you values and all these very specific things. And then the teacher will teach you the same thing, but they're also around you. They teach you a lot more skills, and this you should do like whatever tie things, and how to tie your boots. Teacher has always it's like really a lot of stuff you spend a lot of time with. And then your kill hats do teach you stuff too, because they take shifts. I remember one of my teachers they would teach, but they still had the same attitude while they're teaching, with a frown on. Like my teacher my kill hat would have like a frown on his face, and he would also have dip. He also have dip in his mouth, but with no bottle. They're not allowed to have a bottle, so they have to stomach that. They have to swallow the dip. Yeah, like I remember I didn't even know what dip was.
Yeah.
Because I'm from New York, and that's more of a southern thing, I would say, or a non-city thing, putting dip. And I remember one of the recruits were telling me like, "Oh man, where's this bottle?" He's teaching an hour, like 40-minute long class with a wad of dip, like it's like this big chunk in his mouth.
Gross.
And he's like, "Yo, he's stomaching that." And I even had no idea what he was talking. I was like, "What is that? What do you mean he's stomaching what?" It's like, it's tobacco. It's tobacco that you put in your mouth, and your saliva makes it all wet, and brings out the tobacco, and it just fills up in your mouth, and you're supposed to spit it out into a bottle. And I was like, "Oh, I seen the movies when they're always spitting. It has dip in their mouth, so tobacco." And then it's like, "Yeah, it's that. You're supposed to spit that shit out." But the motherfuckers gutting it,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, it's hardcore then, huh? He's like, yeah, like it's not good for you. Anyway, so yeah, the teacher would still teach us here and there, but their main objective is to thrash you. When you're not listening, they'll be like, go on the quarter deck. Remember the quarter deck? You guys have quarter deck? Yeah.
Well, yeah, or smoke pit. That's what they would
the smoke pit, or the smoke pit. We have the quarter deck and the smoke pit. Smoke pit is more on the outside. There's always, so in Paris Island, I don't know if it was like that at MCRD, but in Paris Island, throughout the island, there's something called a smoke pit. It's literally a circle of sand where the drill instructors will take you if you're doing for no reason, but there is a reason regardless. And the reason, whatever it may be, they take you there and they thrash you. They make you do push-ups now. All right, sir, you gotta do like a crazy bunch of push-ups. Mountain climbing down, mountain climbing, jumping jacks. You gotta get up to jumping jacks, and they do that to the brink of exhaustion. And that's the smoke pit. You're getting smoked or thrashed, and so the reason you might think there's times that you're gonna get punished. Everyone gets punished as a group. Everyone gets punished for no reason. You might think like, yo, we didn't do nothing, like even like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You didn't make it. Go, everybody get like, but you just counted really fast at the end.
Yeah.
The reason is though is even if you could make it in the countdown, it's made you that specifically is for you to make you fail, right? Because you're not supposed to succeed in certain things, and so one thing is that you're it's okay to fail. Like failing, you have to understand failing too, so you fail and then you're getting punished, but then you're like, oh, it's so much stress. The point is to put so much stress on you, frustration. The whole point of bootcamp is to put you to the max amount of stress that you never felt before in your comfortable life, in your civilian life. They're gonna put you to a point where you're just constantly
Mhm.
because
And
why? Because
yeah.
combat. When you go to combat, it is fucking stressful. The
Mhm.
battlefield, it is stressful. So much stuff is happening. Not even the fact that people are trying to kill you, but there's people yelling orders. There's multiple things. People, there's enemy to the left, enemy to the right. There's bullets. Well, who's in charge? Who do we listen to? What's going on? Like, stress is crazy, and you're tired, and you were hungry, you haven't eaten, and you haven't slept, and that's
Right.
what's happening. That's what they're trying to really mimic,
Yep.
and bring you to that point of stress. And so you're gonna get thrashed for no reason, but the reason is actually because to better yourself, is to you've been through this amount of stress. Nothing's gonna make it definitely helps.
Yeah.
All that stuff helps. So that's why the reason, when I say there's no reason, in the sense that they're not punishing you, they're actually making you better. All that mountain climbers, all that you know punishment, and the punishment is punishment through workout,
Yeah.
or to you have to hold. There's so much punishment that you have to eat. Watching Full Metal Jacket, and too, that's like, they're always like in line in the squad bay, and they had we had always had to hold out our M16
Mm.
out for always. It was one of my punishment. I hate it,
Oh, wow.
but it wasn't punishment. It was a workout. It works out your shoulders. It was,
Traps. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
your traps, your shoulders, everything. So all that stuff, um, is to better yourself. So there's sometimes you're not going to succeed in achieving that whatever. Oh, you have to get from here to there in less in the countdown, because everything you do is you're gonna be counting down, and
Right.
you're gonna do it fast. You're gonna have to do everything fast. Take off. All right, we're gonna get undressed. Even getting dressed and undressed every day and night, you
Yep.
you 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 do it by the numbers, especially in the beginning. Phase one. Oh, it gets better. It does get better, because you get to learn things. You get used to it, in the sense that your body's being built. They build your body, they build your mind. And you're gonna get stronger. You're gonna get more disciplined. You're gonna be used to what the whole Marine Corps lifestyle, well, the boot camp lifestyle. First of all, you guess what you get used to.
Yeah. But
It's crazy.
definitely, like I think, like you brought up a great point. You get used to it, but at the same time, you're still learning as you're going. So, speaking in the third person, going like, I don't know, my uncomfortable situation I'll tell you about is like showering with 70 dudes. Like I mean, I showered in a football team before, but it's a little different when you're like right next to a guy and you're trying to soap down, but your drill instructor is telling you, all right, soap your face. All right, soap this, soap that. And you feel like a fool because you're like, oh my God, like this is like the most uncomfortable situation for me. And
Really? Yeah. I didn't really feel. I didn't get. Well, were you like that the whole time?
no, no,
Well,
in the
only in the beginning.
beginning, because
Yeah.
like it's like, all right, bro. Like I'm not trying to look at your dingaling, but it's like, yo, we're all out there. Like, come on.
Yeah, just don't look. Hey, look above
Yeah,
the
I
waist.
always I
Look,
used to
yeah,
look
look above the waist, and you'll be fine.
yeah, and it was just weird.
That's.
And then, oh man, peeing when I never did that before either. It was in the same stall.
Yeah.
So imagine you're going to a stall and there's 70 plus people, but there's only 10 stalls. So in line, they have to line up 3 people, 4 people, 2 people. So
4 people to a toilet.
yeah, to a toilet. So imagine doing all that. And, oh, get this. There's no doors on the toilet. So if you're crapping, guess what? And you have a toilet adjacent to you or right across from you, you're gonna station with the guy you're crapping with. So so that's something to
Yeah,
get to used to.
yeah. There's
But
there's
any
times
other
where, yeah. Well, there's for the
oh,
toilet thing. There's times where uh there'll be one person. So if there's a toilet, right, you're facing the toilet. There's 2 people on the floor, on one side, and then 2 people standing on top of the toilet. And so there's 4 people. That's how you get 4 people onto the toilet. And I remember we were all peeing in one toilet, all 4 of us in one toilet were peeing, and the one guy says, hey, everyone, do not fucking miss. Do not miss. We're all just like, all right. 'Cause we all have to be in sync. We all have to
right.
do it together. We're all in it together.
Yeah.
And one person messes up, sucks, you know. It
Yeah,
sucks.
don't get pissed. But basically, that
I
was
totally forgot about that.
yeah. So that's why I had to bring that up. You're gonna be put in some uncomfortable positions, and you're gonna laugh about it later on. Like looking back
Yeah,
at it, it's like obviously, just like you said, they're trying to mold you into a
yeah,
marine. So,
yeah. When you, I think the thing is though, also is like, eh, for me, I, I don't think I was uncomfortable per se. Not because I had to show my body or anything or share, you know, see other people's body. I didn't care. Because why? One reason, dude, that was like the last thing on my mind. I was, you know, I had so much other shit to worry about. And then second, I think the most thing I was more uncomfortable is just like it wasn't the time limits that like for showering. You know,
okay,
you didn't get to shower
no leisure.
properly at your leisure or properly. And if there's so many times, especially in the beginning phases, when if they hear somebody speak, everybody has at that point leaves, get out of the shower, and we go to sleep like that. Just so once I found that out, people, and there's always like one or a couple of people trying to talk. I'm like, shut the fuck up, like, you know, and there's like, shut up, shut up.
Out of
And
7 people,
that
yeah,
makes more noise, and that makes more noise, and then you know, so you're like, and then they're like, all right, get out. And like, wow, there's people that have shampoo in their
in the
head.
yep,
Me, I just used one soap. I use just one bar of soap on my body, on my head, face, everything. Boom, cleaned out. And we're sharing at least four to you know, four shower head to four people to one shower head.
yes, sir.
Or three if you're lucky, you know, three. Later on, it gets less and less because you get
Fall out.
you earn things. In boot camp, they'll teach you that everything is being earned. In the Marine Corps, is everything is earned. So everything you do, you earn it. Like so to have leisure time, like to shower on your own, that's like phase 3, right? So like later on, you don't get to just go into a shower and have fun. No, but when it's like at I believe it's like 8 p.m. for
Mhm.
us, uh, you have like 1 hour or something uh, of liberty. I believe, like just to do your own thing, read letters, shower, and that's how they trying to transition you back into um being your own person again, you know, being
Yeah,
your own, you know, having responsibility. Okay, now I'm not being told to shower now anymore. I know I got to do it, you know, and that's how you know, you start earning that responsibility back, you know. So everything is earned. Yeah, I did not want to go to bed with soap on me. There's so many people that had to go to bed with soap on them, and then in the middle of the night, they would have to shower.
yeah.
That interrupts your sleep, and you know, like I said before, there's not enough food for the amount of calories you're burning, and then not enough sleep for the amount of energy or
Oh
calories you're burning.
man,
You know,
speak about that. Let's hear your chow hall stories and how's that experience like for recruits?
oh man, I think and I always said this: boot camp had the best food,
Right.
and it probably didn't. Now that I think about it, it probably had
Yeah.
probably
So,
shit food, like the regular food that we have throughout the military. You know, it's not that
yeah,
great, but
but
it tastes so good.
yeah, before you dive into the actual experience, so let's talk about how either you're something called a double ration, where which I was because I was a skinny recruit. I was only like maybe 115 pounds at the time, and which a double ration means you get fed twice. Whatever the main course meal, guess what? You get two of them. And then there's something. What would it was like a diet marine. Basically, if you're overweight and they don't feed you like they feed you a gang of salad. I just remember it was the
Yeah.
same bag salad that you see today with
Oh,
purple cabbage, little carrots or whatever. And then there's your average Joe. Average Joe obviously gets regular meal, one thing, and that's I guess that's what this food was. So but
yeah.
yeah, so speak about that, bro. Like let us know how it was when you had to line up and then
Well, yeah. So you know, going to go eat, going to the chow hall was probably the best. It's the best time you're gonna have.
in your day. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what you look forward to.
Right.
Chow.
Ciao.
Oh my god, you're so hungry. All you know, going to I hate going to sleep hungry now, like because it just brings back. because you're so hungry, you're so tired, but you can't sleep because you're so hungry, and but you're so tired at the same, and the bad mix. Yeah, everybody knows that, but you're doing that for months,
Right.
you know, and that's why people do tempt to like steal food, try to, I think they push that and they try to see who tries to sneak in more food. They're not allowed to deny you food.
Yeah.
So you have to get food, and so in the fact that, I mean, we weren't allowed to have Powerade or soda,
Oh,
strictly water.
so there's a fountain drink area where you could get those options, but in the beginning, nah, those aren't options that you get.
Well, even and it depends on your senior,
Yeah.
whatever your senior rules are. And my senior's rule was no sugar drinks, which is
Ooh,
Powerade, soda. We had it in the chow hall, fountain drinks. We're only allowed to get water. We were only rewarded Powerade at certain times.
right.
And we'll be so happy. We're like, we're there, fucking Powerade, because drinking water, well, and sink water at that.
Yeah, that's tap water.
We
It's all
drink,
tap water.
yeah,
Yeah.
we drink sink water. So every time we had to fill up our canteens, we just go to the bathroom and fill up sink water.
Yeah.
So throughout the whole months, I mean, weeks and weeks and weeks of
All
just
that
drinking.
lead.
Yeah, who knows, right? And to drink Powerade, I remember it would be like such a treat.
Yeah.
It'd be such a treat. We weren't allowed to get desserts, cakes.
Oh yeah, dessert section. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
we weren't allowed to do sugar. I remember one of the seniors from another platoon was watching over us, was taking over us and his platoon
Uh-huh.
at the chow hall. And the senior, and he's cool. He's always like laid back, but he's always so scary and firm. This big dude, and he saw me. I was eating pancakes and I had syrup, and he was like that. You see the senior. Does your senior know that you're using syrup? Like, he allowed me to, because I was skinny. I
Yeah.
was really skinny, so he allowed me to do it. Which is fucking, it's weird, man. Everything's not fair, because other people, they weren't allowed to do it, and I
Yeah.
had. But so even him saying that though, that senior, I didn't use the syrup,
Oh wow.
because he
Yeah.
said it, because he said something.
Yeah.
I was like,
But
so
you stopped right
and, he, and
away.
he and he came back,
Oh.
He looked, he saw, he didn't look at me. We didn't make you don't make eye contact with him.
Never.
I just remember, he came back, and I did see him, and he saw that I didn't use my syrup. I like, that package done.
Yeah.
I didn't open it, and he felt it, like, okay, this
Okay.
good on him.
Yeah.
I think he would tell my senior.
Sure.
Because they tell everybody, if you do something, they tell the other, oh, this, what your freaking recruit did, and then you get killed for it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even that stuff is like, okay, I didn't do it, so yeah, I played their game, you
Yeah.
gotta, and that's, I don't know, maybe I think I'm better for it, because I
Yes.
didn't need it. I didn't need that. It's all
Exactly.
sugar.
But what's funny is, like, so you line up, you get your meal, right? And it's like 4 to a table. So I don't
Oh,
know
you
if
have forks at the table?
yeah, we had
We
4
had benches. We had benches.
Oh, yeah, we had actual
Circle tables?
like, yeah, it's like a square or circle, like, yeah, but we had 4 to a table. And what we couldn't do is you had to wait for the guide. So you can't eat until the guide sits down.
Mm.
Once the guide sits down and starts eating, guess what? Your time to eat. But once the guide's done, guess what? Everybody has to get up. So
Yeah, I think that was our rule too.
yeah, so I just remember, like, once I seen our guide, he was a really cool dude from Texas. Shout out to him. But basically, this fool, who's, I think his name was Hibbert at the time. So recruit Hibbert was like, okay, he was fast, bro. So because the drill instructors would egg him on and say, hey, don't slow down, keep eating. So this fool would stuff his face. So right away, of course, went for the protein. We had hot dogs, burgers, anything that for lunch. So I was like stuffing my face, and then maybe like a month in, people started knowing, like, hey, you're getting 2 meals. So of course the diet Marines losing weight, like, hey, slide me a hot dog or slide me. So I would you know, if because like sometimes I wouldn't finish. There's so much food, so I would just like quick, like
Oh yeah.
yeah, just because you know I'm that kind of guy. Like yo, I'm helping the
No,
next
I got that's what it's about. It's,
because we're
and
surviving.
if you get caught, you'll face the
Yeah, I was ready to
consequences.
face the consequences because, like, to me, like at least the reasoning behind it was like, okay, like, hey, this guy he needs more protein than me because look how big
It's
he is. Like,
it's
shoot,
teamwork. It's teamwork, man. Listen, it's not frowned upon, but but if you get caught,
be
that's it. I
prepared.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, but is it something that you shouldn't do in the future? No, let's say we were prisoners of war, and I'm like, yo, my boy needs to eat. I'm
yeah,
gonna, and that's a whole scenario. I'm gonna try to sneak him what my portion, and the guards will get pissed
yeah,
over everything, right? Because that's POW. If you're a POW, who knows what or you're not allowed to talk, you're not allowed to share,
yeah. So that's
So
yeah, definitely.
so
And then right after, did you guys have to do like pull ups, and sit ups, and all that stuff, or
I don't remember having to do it because I don't remember being like we didn't eat that much in order to feel full. I never felt full. So my teacher had would always tell us too is like what I learned is the fact why they rush us too. There are many reasons, but one of the main reasons why they rush you to hurry up and eat is because they're on a schedule
right?
and they need to get. You're like babies, when you go to boot camp, you're like a baby or children. And when you ever see parents handle a bunch of group of children, like, all right, get dressed, put your socks, put your shoe on, like, where's your bag, like, and that's what's happening with them. They have to take care of these 70, 80 plus,
Plus,
70 plus babies, kids that they're responsible for, like, and that they're like parents. So like that they make you put on your socks, put on your trousers by the numbers, to get you dressed, they bring you to the food place, and then we have to go train. We're not just there to eat lunch and mess around. We're there to train. So after you eat, you got to go to the classes, you got to go through whatever's scheduled to that day, and you're not the only platoon. Every platoon's got to meet there at a certain time, so everybody's got to be on time. And the reason why they keep trying to rush you is because this, like, you're late. They might be late, yeah, because even if you do everyone wakes up we wake up at 4, I believe, right?
yeah,
4:30 every morning, at 4:30, and then we have to clean. You have to make your beds, your racks, in the way that it has to be made. And there's like standards. You have to do it with a ruler and all that stuff. That's why a lot of Marines, especially me, I never went under I never took out my sheets,
uh-huh.
my blanket. I just slept kind of like pulled out just enough of it so that
Yeah,
I could
make it
slip
easier
through
in
it.
the morning.
And
Yeah,
when I get out in the morning, I don't need to fix anything. I just need to like tighten it up a little bit, and that, boom, I'm done every morning. So that's how I slept. Sometimes I just, if it was like, it wasn't too cold when the AC wasn't blasting, because I went during summertime. We'll talk about that.
yeah.
Summertime and wintertime. But yeah, if it wasn't too cold, I would just sleep on top of the rack, and then boom, I wake up.
You're ready to
It was,
go.
it was yeah. So,
Yeah,
and then chow hall. So that's why they rush you. They rush you because, like, so I remember my teacher would say, don't eat till you're full. And I
yeah.
carry that on from that day. I preach that. Like, you don't need to eat till you're stuffed.
Oh, but I don't know.
You
Food's
just
so good. I love.
I'm not saying that I don't do it. I do it. Do it. But I do. You shouldn't. You
Man,
shouldn't eat till you're fully stuffed. You just eat till you have the right, so you could keep going. You
yeah,
know.
and you don't feel
Yeah. So
fatigued or tired or anything after.
exactly. And so even if they did make me do sit-ups and push-ups right after we ate, I don't think it would have mattered because I didn't eat enough to feel sick.
Yeah.
And that's like a thing. So yeah, they would rush. I remember my drill instructor, the teacher would tell me, yeah, you don't need to eat, tell us we don't need to eat till you're stuffed. But he's also like, because he told us after after a certain phase, he would tell us, like, we gotta go,
Yeah. You
eat
got
the protein. He told me, he would tell us, whatever you have on your plate, eat the protein first. He would
yeah.
always tell us, eat the protein first. But he'd tell us, like, he would, with the scratchy voice, like, eat the protein first. If you gotta eat anything, eat the protein first. You got ham, eat the ham. Like I remember just eating the protein first. But then what I would normally do was just mash all the food together. That's why
Oh,
because I learned that from my brother. My brother, he eats. My
I
brother
hear that
eats.
tip.
My brother's an eater. He knows, he just eats. He loves to eat, and he would tell me, he would just mash. When he came back from boot camp, I was like, like, oh, how, what was that? Food. He would talk about the food, and he would just mash everything together, and you scarf that down. So that's what I would try to do. I wouldn't just eat my salads, and no, because there are times where so you're not allowed to. We weren't allowed to put our heads up. The only thing you're allowed to do is look at your plate. So you're
Right.
always staring at your plate. Your heels are together. Your back is straight, and your
Yep.
left hand is on your left thigh,
Or knee.
and that's it. Or
Yeah.
your knee. I'm sorry, your knee. Your left hand is on your knee, back straight, looking down. You're not allowed to talk to anybody. You're not allowed to look around.
Nope.
But people do, and when you get caught, sometimes
Woo.
either that individual gets is told put their fork down,
Uh-huh.
or everybody puts their fork down. And what the thing is, not they don't tell them to just put their fork down and get up and we leave. No, it's still a punishment but we're not denying food. We're just temporarily stopping because you only allowed, let's say, 5 minutes to eat.
Mhm.
That 5 minutes, now somebody wants to talk, it'll be cut down to 2 minutes. So
Wow.
because you're just sitting. Now we were just sitting there staring at our food, pissed,
Super
pissed
hungry.
and hungry. Yeah, and then we're just for minutes, and
Yeah.
we know that you only have 5 minutes to eat. So this is gonna, and then he'll be like, "All right, pick up your forks, start eating." And we start eating again as much fast as you can
Yeah.
because you know that. All right,
It's
put
gonna
your forks down. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody, let's go. You're like, fuck. You're so pissed because you're. God damn, you're so hungry. When you take away food, man, to a human being, you could, you could drive them nuts. Like hunger could kill. Like
yeah. Man, so speaking of that, another thing, class. So you're constantly in a classroom environment, getting taught. So
learning.
everybody's in a class and they're sitting like in an auditorium kind of feel, and you see this, you see the head bobbing like dook,
Oh
dook,
yeah.
because
Well,
you're
what do we call that?
uh,
It's bobbing for dick.
yeah, I didn't want to say it like that for sure.
Right, you're bobbing for dick. Yeah,
Yeah.
because your mouth is open and then. Yeah. And
So then funny that like when people bob for dick and then fucking get smacked right away because that's what they tell you. The drill instructor said, "Well, I didn't say put hands on them, but make sure they stay up." Like, all right.
yeah,
So definitely, class was like something like if you never
bobbing for
did.
cock. Bobbing for cock. Sorry,
So
I had it.
no, no worries, no worries. So yeah, the classroom experience, the eating experience. What else we should touch on that people should know about? Like
Oh man, I mean, so
inspect.
fire watch every day. So this fire, not every day, but you're in rotation, so you don't get. So you're assigned to do fire watch, meaning there's two people every hour, I believe. So every hour in the middle of the night, whenever your shift is, two Marines or two recruits, I should say, two recruits are always up,
Walking
guarding,
around, yeah,
walking around, making sure nobody enters while you're sleeping. Because the whole thing is about security. It's not punishment. And you're gonna do this throughout your whole Marine Corps career. I mean, you'll be on duty in the barracks, or you'll be on, which is fire watch.
yeah,
You're making sure that in that sense, no fire is happening while you're sleeping, or an emergency, or somebody's, Marines. So this is a rule that I always heard. I don't know if it's always followed. I'm pretty sure it's always followed. But when there's like a formation of Marines, there's also needs to be security
yeah,
standing by, like somewhere else with rifles. Because whenever a group of Marines get together, there's also in a big formation there needs to be security. I always love the idea that even like we don't travel with our uniforms on, because you would rarely see a Marine in camis.
yeah.
traveling. They could travel in your other uniform, like your dress blues and your alphas,
Yeah.
but to travel in your camis, like Army, Air Force, and Navy, I don't know about the Navy, but Army, I know Army and Air Force, I seen a lot of them at the airport, but maybe because they're on duty. But even like because like they're on duty and they have to go somewhere, or they're on orders. But even when we were on orders, we would have to wear civilian attire.
Mm,
And one of the reasons why I was told is because we don't want to make ourselves a target,
right. Especially.
and
Yeah.
especially in the airport, and I think that's very smart, and it's cool because we get to wear civvies, get to wear
Yeah.
civilian clothes. I don't want to wear a uniform and fly on a plane, you know. I mean, it's cool though, rocking a uniform and being out in the civilian world. People, look at
They,
you different.
they,
Yeah, they appreciate it.
you have the
Yeah.
haircut, you have your dog tags. 'Cause you're always wearing your dog tags. So
Oh yeah. You always wear your dog tags?
no,
No.
not really.
I did and didn't. Yeah, there's times like but you get in trouble if you don't. You know that, right? You're supposed to wear that shit.
To wear that because in case of emergency, you lost your wallet or whatever, your dog tags are supposed to identify you, supposedly. And if you
I don't know if that
get
goes
bombed
how
on, if
far.
you get bombed on, I mean, hopefully your
I don't.
dog tags.
Oh well, yeah. In battle, in combat, I always wear it.
Yeah,
In
in
Iraq,
combat, that's
on
different.
my boat, yeah,
Yeah,
on my boot, and on myself. But yeah, you were gonna guess because there's gonna be people that when you get in the Marine Corps, it's like there's people that say, oh, you're wearing a dog tag, so, they're like, oh, you're so moto, but you're just doing the right thing. You're following the book, and there's a lot of people that like salty.
yeah,
They're just salty. So just be aware of that. That's why there's people, if they'll make fun of you if you wear your dog tags.
yeah.
Even during on liberty, on libo, like in civilian clothes, you wear your dog tags. Some boots do that.
No,
A lot of a boot, like why is that guy wearing his dog tags with jeans, and because I think you're supposed to too anyways,
yeah.
when you go on the weekend liberty or something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in the book, but you'll get made fun of. You'll be called a boot. That's one of the boot signs, and the
So
high and tight haircuts. You know,
yeah, what's funny is in boot camp, did you get your wisdom teeth pulled or no?
yeah, not in boot camp, in the fleet, and
Oh,
all four,
oh, okay. I did.
all
Yeah.
four.
So what's
During boot camp.
Yeah, so what I would recommend it because it's like a free day off. Like I don't basically you get your teeth pulled, then you have to stay in quarters, you have to be in your bed. They call it bed rest. And it was cool because it's like, well, I got a free day off. That's cool with me. Like,
Did you get medicine?
oh yeah, you get
What kind?
it's Motrin, bro. It's all
Oh,
Motrin.
that's it. Nothing. Nothing
I didn't
good.
see nothing like that, but yeah,
No perks.
no perks. Nah.
That's what I got. I mean, but I was already in the fleet. You
Yeah,
know. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to have like this. I saw people that got surgery during boot camp and like or got shins like, and they would have to be like put back.
yeah.
I was so scared to miss training. If you miss a certain amount of days of training, you'll be put back to the next platoon and the next class, and you don't want to stay there longer.
Yeah,
Especially you want to graduate with the people that you came with.
and that's what they tell you too. Like you want to make sure that you're doing everything right and you graduate on time. Because the only way out of boot camp, guess what, is if you're discharged or you graduate. So graduation definitely you want to get out of boot camp.
Yeah, that's your goal.
Because there was some people in sick bay during the whole boot camp, they get recycled, they call it. So if they were in sick bay, they had some kind of, I don't know, because pneumonia was a big thing in the West Coast. I don't know about the
Oh,
East.
was it?
Yeah,
I'm
pneumonia
not
was,
sure.
yeah. So no,
We
pneumonia
had
really hit hard for a lot of people.
we had a lot of cellulitis. I don't know
Ooh,
if you know what that is. You know what cellulitis? So
yeah,
cellulitis is like an infection on let's say on an open wound, and in this case, it will be like mosquito bites.
ooh,
People are scratching their mosquito bites or spider bites or whatever bug bites, and with their dirty fingernails, you know,
Mm,
and they're just constantly scratching it, and you're just infecting that wound, and it gets infected and it becomes like this giant infection,
mm.
and it's called cellulitis. I mean, look it up. I'm pretty sure, you know, there's more detail to it, but yeah, a lot of people have cellulitis, and then they would have to get like surgically, I don't know, like something, and then have a big patch on it. Shin splints was huge. I didn't even know what shin splints were till I went to boot
Had
camp.
those.
I didn't know what cellulitis was. I didn't know a lot of things. You know, like what, you know.
So I mean, there's nothing to prepare that if it is what it is, if it happens, but
Yeah, keep your
definitely
hands clean.
keep your hands. Yep, that's what I was just gonna say. Keep your hands clean.
They'll tell you that too. Like, stop putting your dirty fingers in your mouth, or you know, stop touching your stop touching your face with your dirty hands. You know, it's all bearing, and like, even don't wipe your sweat. Don't ever touch your face. Just don't even touch your face, because you'll get killed for it. We
Yeah.
weren't allowed to touch our face. And like, it's so hard, because like when you're standing at attention and you have like sweat dripping down your face, and it tickles the shit out of you. You just want to touch it, or a fly is like on you, you
Yeah.
know, and it's like, ugh, it's like you just want to swat it away or do something. But that's bearing, you know. That's all the things that you teach you, because why? It's all for a reason. Like, because in combat, when you're not supposed to move and you got to be still, whether it's sweat, a fly, or something, you know, if you're trying to snipe somebody, or you're trying to shoot somebody, you're trying to be disclosed, you're trying to hide, you need to be completely still no matter what. And that's discipline, you know. It's a form of discipline. Yeah, everything. There's gonna be so much stuff that you learn in boot camp, man. I mean, obviously you learn even more outside after you, but that foundation, it's the boot camp is strong. The
Yeah.
foundation is good, and you gotta accept it. You gotta accept it. Did anybody quit while you were there?
Yeah. Well, not quit. AWOL. Yeah. So
Oh, hell yeah.
for us, it's like you cross the freeway. So if it depends. So you go to MCRD the first phase, and then the second phase, you go to Camp Pendleton, Las Pulgas. So what's crazy is that base, you could see it right off the five. Like anytime you go to San Diego, you could literally see the area, the boot camp area. And every time I go with my wife, I always point it out like, oh, I was right there. I was right there. I used to get smoked right there, yada yada yada. And it was just funny how like one kid, yeah, but he got caught. Everybody who leaves gets caught. Like what's crazy
Eventually.
is don't forget you put your social your whole life, so it's not like you can't run because it's on your record. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
So
find you here and there.
yeah, they'll find you eventually. But I was gonna say, but yeah, the first month was drilling. I don't even think you shoot the first month. You do some
That's
weapon.
phase two. That's phase
Yeah.
two. You go to phase two. So there's three phases. From what I remember, phase one, it's just all conditioning. You're learning all the basic stuff, how to march, which is called drilling. Learning how to tie your shoes, basically, which it's always left over right, your laces.
Mhm.
Um, all the little foundations, and then phase two is when you get to blouse your boots. That's what it's called, blousing your boots.
Oh,
Because
blouse.
when you
Yeah.
yeah, because now you earn it. You earn it when and that's what right before rifle range, I believe. So
Oh,
because you have to blouse your boots for rifle range, and that's when you achieve this. I think it's like near the end of phase two, or mid phase two. That's when and they trust you with. They got to see if they trust you with live ammunition,
mm,
basically, and so now you know how to handle this weapon. You've been taught, you're always with your rifle. Um, at phase one, you're not with your rifle as much, but you still got to take care of it, because you lock it up, and you got to make sure everything is secure. Everything. Do not have any, like your war locker, your chest locker, whatever you want, foot locker,
mm.
whatever you want to call it. You don't want that lock to be unlocked, because then they'll dump
Ooh,
it. Yeah, they'll dump that shit.
man.
And again, it's just cause stress. It's to cause stress, and to be aware of those little attention to detail, man. It's so much. How many times did we hear attention to detail, attention to detail, attention to detail? There's, Irish pinning, those little threads on your uniform. You gotta cut those, everything, and that obviously, because why? In combat, in battle, these little details is what wins the war. Or saves your life, or is what matters. The little details, the big stuff, it's always, you can see it. It's always going to be taken care of, and it's always going to have attention to it. But you got to have attention to the small stuff that's not being seen.
Yeah. So what items did you have in your Foot Locker? Did you have anything special? Because I'll tell
Not,
you guys right now, don't keep it organized. That I mean, you could keep it organized, but that thing's gonna get dumped every day, every hour.
yeah, we had a. Oh man, I had so I mine. You know me, I'm always
Very,
OCD and organized. So I would still do that. And then when they tell us to, because there's times that even though we didn't do anything wrong,
yeah,
they would say to dump your lockers. And what I would do would, so there was like two pieces to it, right on top. I think there was like one tray and then the inside.
yeah.
Uh, I would dump it in a manner where it's just still all sitting there, and my
I remember
at least it's not mixed with everybody's shit.
Ooh, but that
I
happened
hated
too.
that. I there's so many times. That's why you have to mark your name on almost every single thing,
Yeah, hot
so
tip.
that you know what's yours. But regardless, it still gets mixed up. People's boots were getting all mixed up. I'm like, whose boot is this? It's like huge, and
Yeah,
I'm 9, I'm 9.5, and
you get
somebody
13.
they're like the 12. Yeah, I'm like, yo, what's this doing here? And who's missing? Who's missing a boot?
Yeah,
And it's like just like that. It's chaos, and you can't wear one lopsided boot, stuff like that. So yeah, what I would do is just kind of not make it obvious, obviously, because I don't you don't want to get yourself in more trouble.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but that's what I would do. I would do that. There's a lot of stuff that I did that, not that I shouldn't do, but that bought like, because who I am, I have a lot of OCD. I couldn't touch a lot of things. I hated it.
yeah.
Especially like MCT, like which is Marine Corps Combat Training, where we're in the woods. Where do you guys go from MCT, by the way?
Yeah, Pogas. Yeah, we went to Pendleton. So
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, yeah,
We went, yeah, we were in North Carolina, so it was like I believe it's North Carolina, and it's very like woodland, very foresty.
yeah. That's how
So,
Pogas is. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, so it was cool, but it was dirty. Like the shower floors were dirty, and I would hate to, like, because it's like out in the field,
yeah.
and there'll be like a shower thing there. I remember, and I was like tiptoe. Like there's some people that didn't even wear
Flip
sandals,
flops.
flip
Ooh,
flops. Yeah, and I'm like,
that's how you get athlete's foot. And
that's how you get something. I don't know. I saw. I was always just like,
yeah.
you know, I always had to wear shower shoes, man.
Oh, that
What?
too. You definitely want to get a spray because when you shower with a bunch of people, not everybody's the cleanliness, huh? So you make
Yeah,
like that's one part I had to get used to too. I was like, man, there's some dirty mofos that go to boot camp, and you're just like, that's disgusting. Because I don't know, as a
yeah,
guy, like you, I feel like I have to shower every night, and I still do to this day. Like I just want to feel clean going to bed, but I guess
yeah. I mean, that's just, I guess, just how their lifestyle before. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know.
So
But
so phase 2 is something we could dive in a little bit because I think that's the fun, like one of the funnest times besides phase 3, obviously, because just like you said, you learn to shoot. What else is cool? You do the crucible on phase 2. So
no,
speak
that's
of
for Crucible is phase 3.
is it?
Yeah, it's at the end.
Oh, for us it was phase 2.
What? No, we did it. Rifle range was phase 2, and swim qual.
Oh, swim and gas chamber, right?
No, gas chambers, I believe, is 1.
Oh, wow, one.
I
See,
believe. I mean, I would be mistaken, but I believe it's 1. And phase 2 was swimming and rifle range. Because that's why I was always excited about phase 2. Is like, oh man, this is when we get to start shooting and start, doing some crazy. Because phase 2 is when you start training.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
to be not training. I don't want to say it like that. I think it's phase 2 is more like rifle. It's just like the hands-on stuff, like rifle range, what you came for, kind of thing. Like
Ooh,
shooting
yeah,
and learning how to do like swim and stuff.
yeah. I forgot to make map. We didn't even touch base of that.
Oh
Like
yeah, well, McMap was starting.
on
I
what?
think phase 1, but very
Yeah,
basic, and then later on to, like, later on you earn, you learn more, learn how to do arm bars, and that's
yeah,
where I learned how to make in boot camp. That's where I learned to do arm bars and
yeah.
chokes.
Like
That's where you
jujitsu
you know
style. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, a lot of that, exactly. Marine Corps martial arts is a mixed martial arts, a
Mhm.
mix of non-lethal and lethal stuff. There's an art to it, but it's it's a lot of the training too. There's non-lethal part, and then there's a lethal part where it's not pretty. It's just straight up how to punch. Like in the fleet, I forgot who taught us this, but during our McMap class was how to punch at a certain degree, at the jaw, so that it'll always most likely guarantee to break someone's jaw.
Right.
If you punch at a 45-degree angle in a certain way, I'm not gonna say it, but you could break people's jaw a lot more easily or easier. Stuff like that. So, or takedowns, or how to take down, bigger people. Especially from the back, you got to put your foot in the back of their knee and choke them down at the same time, and so they lose their balance and they fall back, and you got to choke the neck out as strong as much as you can. There's different ways. I mean, that's stuff that you learn in the beginning. You're gonna feel like it's so corny, McMath, because everything's like by the numbers. Like you're a white belt and taking a karate class or something, and you do like this corny kicks, but it's just you're gonna build up to it, and that's what they do. Like how the knife
kill,
how to kill, and stuff like that. But obviously, it all evolves into like slash and slash. Like you'll move up. You'll get it. So that's phase one. These are phase one stuff. Everything's like your baby. You're treated like a child, but it's all foundation work. Really foundation. So phase two, now you know the ropes. Now you know what you're here for, what's all about. You already had a month of boot camp. Like, okay, so a month is a long time to condition yourself. So now you're conditioned. You're away from your family. You know the rules. And then phase two, you get to blouse your boots. I remember blousing my boots, man. It was awesome because now you didn't look like and then you transition into boots first of all, but you still have no blouse. Like, so you're not your trousers, your pants aren't rolled up onto the top of your boot, and that's what blousing the boot is. But I always wanted to, because I remember seeing the upper platoons, phase 3 Marines and phase 2 Marines. They look good, man. They look good. They're at that time they're already in sync in drilling.
Yeah.
And they had the rifles, and you would see, phase 3 Marines are coming, because you know why they look like phase 3. Two reasons. Once their blouses, their boots are bloused, but that's also phase 2. But they're also their sleeves are rolled
up.
Ooh, they look tight. They look good, and they march with their rifles. Well, phase 2 you march with your rifles too. Well, you learn that throughout, but then they're good. Yeah. They're good. They're so good at phase 3. Like I remember when I was phase 1, I saw a phase 3 platoon come in. Whoo! You wanted to be them. Yeah. They look polished.
You're inspired. Yeah, you're inspired.
Oh yeah, they look so freaking good, man. And all you hear is marching.
All in one note.
And the senior is like, hello, man, and everybody's good, man, in harmony. And left to right.
And then there's us, the boogers that look like.
Yeah. I remember because our teacher our drill instructor would be like, watch these guys, watch them. Like, and we watched, and they were so good because we were shit. Yeah. And you are shit, obviously. You just shit. You don't know it because you don't know anything, and you're like, damn, that's gonna be me.
Yep.
Because it's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time that you're gonna be good, man. Yeah. You're gonna be so good at everything. And then that's when phase 3 is like so not relaxed. It's not relaxed, but you just become more of a human being. You become you get your responsibilities back, and you become this different. The transition and transformation is really good. Yeah. The way they planned it, and the system is amazing, and you become this new human being, this new person, which is you become a Marine, yeah. and it's great, and you feel it, and you earn it. It's a great thing, and I'm not trying to be like cliche or anything. I'm trying to hype it up. I swear, that's every Marine that when you get your Eagle Globe and Anchor, when they give it to you, graduation, you feel that shit, man. You earned every single bit of it. You know it. You know it. They made you, because they made you earn it. Yeah. No matter what you did, swim call, everything, rifle range, everything you did, whatever you had to do to get to that point. There's so many people that we picked up to meaning from other platoons, because it's some kid for swim call. So phase 2, let's go into swim call.
Mhm.
Swim call, I believe the Marine Corps is the only branch of service that makes you qualify for swimming.
Well, besides
Eh,
Navy, obviously. Oh,
no, Navy.
no.
I don't
Oh.
think Navy is a qualification.
Oh, okay.
So I could be wrong. But from what I know, Marine Corps is the only one. Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, because it's Navy. They're
Yeah, you would think that. You would think that. I'm sure. I'm not sure if there's just a familiarization thing where they put you in water,
Mhm.
or there's an actual qualification like how we have.
So what is swim call and what did you have to do? Let's speak about that.
All right. Well, which one did you make it up to? Because there's 4 levels, right? I
Oh,
think.
man,
So,
I'm pretty sure I did the bare minimum because
yeah.
swimming is not my strong suit.
And even swim call, like the first test of qualification is really it's fairly, you need to know how to swim. You
Yeah.
can't go there without knowing how to swim.
Oh, so I'm a so like I doggy paddle still, so that's not my thing.
I swim like a fish. I'm not that good, but I know how to swim. I swim better now because of the Marines. But back
Yeah.
then, I knew how to swim. I thought at least I did. But when you're swimming with your gear on,
Your camis, your boots, it's a little
well,
different.
in the beginning, the first swim call 1 or swim call 4, I believe, or 1. I don't know which one, whichever way it goes.
There
The
it goes.
first one, you're in your trousers, your skivvy shirt and socks, and you gotta swim a certain way from a 50. I believe it's 50 meters. Swim a certain way. Um, if not, you fail that. You can't swim like splashing or overhand or whatever or backstroke. You
What
gotta
is
swim.
it breaststroke or I forgot?
It's not. It's like on your side. It was very difficult for me too because I never swam like that,
Yeah.
and it's like you have to swim on your side,
Uh-huh.
and for some reason I don't know why that's what made it hard for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure it's like that anymore. But then there's also the other techniques. But you're not supposed to splash. You're supposed to be very stealthy. Like in the commercials where they come out with the water. Like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to come up with like wiping
Yeah.
your face and blowing your nose. No, you gotta like be one with the water. And so that was one part, and then you have to jump off the ledge, diving
Ooh,
board, yeah, stuff like that.
that's about 10 feet. I forgot. It was pretty high up.
It was doable. It's doable. It's just more of a confidence thing, I want to say,
Yeah,
and
it is a thing.
it's to familiarize yourself with jumping off a ship.
Yeah.
Because if like the ship is burning or whatever, you got to know how to jump off a ship the right way. You can't just fling your arms and jump and stuff like that. So that was, I believe, one was fairly easy for me.
Yeah.
Like it was doable. It was tiring. It was very tiring. I made it to 2 or the next level.
Nice.
Which is full boots, gear, helmet, and rifle, and you gotta swim backwards from point A from B. I did that. I made it. I almost messed up because my Kevlar was a little too big on me too. Water started going into the back of it and started started getting heavier, and I could feel that, and I'm like just drinking water. I was drinking so much water, man, and I just needed to make it to the end of that spot. So I made it. I remember, and I was so tired, man. And then you have to go around to the other side and then jump in again, and then they throw you with the pack. You got to throw your pack. Now you have a pack, which is shit. In theory, it should be easier because now you have the pack. You have to use the pack and use that in a certain way, and then swim with that
floating device.
Yeah, and for some reason, I forgot. You have to like unleash it or something like that. And for some reason, I was drowning. I drowned. I never drowned in my life, and I experienced drowning. I drowned, and the best thing to do, they say, if you freak out, they're not going to save you because that's going to jeopardize. They're not going to jump in and rescue you. You got to be composed. And I was literally, my boots dragged me straight down to the fucking bottom, bro. Like not to the bottom, but my first time in my, I I'm like, holy crap! And only my hand was outside the water that I could reach up. I remember, and I was tapping out. I was just tapping out like this, just waiting because I couldn't physically float. I had no more energy where I could have gotten up to the top except for my hand, and I was like, oh, they have to see me. I like in my mind, I was just like, I hope somebody sees me. I hope somebody sees me. And I just remember
Tapping.
like tapping, and then you felt something splash in the water, which was like a buoy or like a floating device.
Yeah.
And it touched my hand. I touched my hand, and I'm like, oh, I grabbed it. And I'm like, I pulled myself up, and I'm like, and I'm like, and then I got pulled out, you know. But I just kept my cool, man. I kept my cool. I'm like, I'm drowning. If nobody saves me right now, I'm gonna run out of air.
Yeah.
I have no more energy to swim, and I can't even lift myself up. Like I can't.
Yeah.
And I just remember that, and I drank water. And then as soon as I got out, I was like gasping for air. And then I just got, you know, I got pulled out. I crawled. It didn't help me out, obviously. Nobody helped me out. I crawled myself out of that fucking pool, and everything was so heavy.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so I failed. I failed that, which is fine because I was like, damn, man, that was.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could. I need a day of rest to try that again.
Yeah.
Because I was like, so exhausted. I was really exhausted.
Oh yes, it takes a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to, you know, strip down, and go sit over there. So and then so we stripped all our stuff down. I'm just in my skivvies and sitting down with like the other people who didn't pass.
The worst.
It's fine. I was ready to go back.
Yeah, I'm cool. So yeah, I did the big whatever the check in the box. That's what I did because treading water is not my strongest suit. So literally, I'm trading. It doesn't count. Start over. So they kept saying, start over. And I swear I was in the pool because you only had to do what 3 minutes of treading water. I forgot. It was something short, but they kept setting my clock back.
It was 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes of treading water, and start over, recruit, start over. So I'm like dying. It's already 20 minutes. I'm like, bro, I did this for hella long. So that's why I like swimming, and maybe that's why I kind of like have a phobia, or I just don't like. That's not my thing.
I like swimming. I mean, I'm definitely not. That's not our preferred environment. Water, but is this swim called 4? Or is it only 3? I think it's 4, right?
I think.
But the last one is very difficult too. It's like the last one's really difficult. They're showing me because I had some recruits that went to swim call 1 that you have to punch the drill instructor is pretending to drown, and you have to go save him.
Yeah.
And when you go save them, they're gonna try to drown. They're gonna come around, and they're gonna try to drown. They're literally drowning you. They said, and if you don't do the methods that they taught you to release them, you fail. Yeah, and that's the thing. So it was very difficult, and obviously there's a little more to it, but for each station. But those are the things. Swim call, it's I want to say it's fun.
So how can our listeners prepare for a swim call? What advice would you give young?
Swim, learn how to swim. be more comfortable in water. Go swimming with boots on.
Yeah.
Be careful. Yeah, be careful though. I mean, it's a totally different experience with swimming with full clothes on.
It's not swim trunks where you just swim in it.
Yeah, all that stuff gets wet, gets soaked, and becomes weight.
Heavy, just straight heavy. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, you got that. That's you gotta. So my one of the things about swim call that I wanted to talk about. You had a lot of people fail swim qualifications.
They do.
And that's how we picked up. As I was mentioning before, that's how we picked up a few recruits from future classes, not future classes, from previous classes that that had to come to our platoon because they failed, and they got recycled back, right? And they graduated the second time around. One of my buddies that I remember, he was really cool, and he failed. He was black. A lot of black people failed the swim qualification.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. It happens. The bones are denser. It's harder. It's science. It's black people's bones are denser. It's harder for them to float.
Mm.
I think Asian people, our mass is actually really light, so it's a lot easier for us. Yeah, Asians. Listen, I'm just stating facts. It's nothing to do with. It's not stereotyping. It's just like that. So yeah, he was really cool. He was like, yeah, he's like, two of them we picked up, and they were really cool. And yeah, they failed for swim call. And I remember when we were going to swim call, they were failing again. Yeah, they're failing, man. It was just having such a difficult time. But they would have to do like remedial. They would stay there longer and learn that shit.
Yeah.
Even more. So even if you're failing at something, they will try their best to teach you. Whether it's rifle, how to shoot a rifle, like running, sit-ups, push-ups, anything. If you're not excelling at it or doing what you're supposed to do, you will be trained, whether you like it or not. They'll make you learn, and that's what happened with them. They made it. And I remember when they graduated, not when they graduated, when they passed, they came back and we all clapped for them. You know, my senior said, "Hey, they fucking did it."
Yeah.
And we're proud. Like
they did it.
Yeah. And we're very happy. You know, same thing with the rifle range. And that's why I just, you know, this me thinking back, I'm like, damn, they did. You know, they installed like that teamwork, that pride. Even though we weren't there, you know, we're proud, happy for them for something that they failed in the future, and they came back. And you know, it sucks to be recycled. It's like one of the worst things to be left. It's like being left back a grade, and you know, you have to, and then all your friends are graduating, you know, who you came with, and then it's a horrible feeling. And some people are stuck in sick. What do you call that?
Sick bay, or
is it sick bay? Like where they're like either get a broken arm or shin splints, and they have to like stay another month to heal. After you stay another month to heal, and then they put you back into a platoon just to go through it again, to wherever you left off. Yeah. So there's people that stay in boot camp for
6 months.
6 months. I was about to say 6 months, man. I had some people that stayed there for 6 months, bro. I'm like, whoa. It's like it's no effect to them anymore.
Yeah.
Because boot camp is, you know, you can't go to boot camp twice. You should. You're not supposed. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work, huh?
Basically 6 months you did go twice.
Yeah, but it doesn't work the same. Meaning, you know. So once I graduate from boot camp, like a Marine, you know, a Marine that wants to go to, I think, Army or Air Force or Navy doesn't need to go to their basic training. You know, from what I hear, this is what I hear, right? You don't need to go to basic training. But I believe from this is all word of mouth, but if like somebody from another branch wants to go into the Marines, they would have to go into some kind of boot camp, or, you know, to become a Marine. You can't, I don't see how you can become a Marine without going
I think it's a lateral move like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that you could just come into the Marine Corps without having some kind of the Marine Corps installed in you, you know?
I think
I don't know how that works. I gotta look that up.
I believe, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I heard the same thing, like word of mouth too. Like you have to go through boot camp to be a Marine. Like there's no way of going out of that, or like exempt. You're not exempt from any of that. So
yeah, because that's where you learn how to be all this madness and stuff like that. I think I had to be right about that, because I remember somebody was saying that when they went to boot camp, they had a sergeant from somewhere or something like that, and during the graduation was a higher rank.
Ooh, wow!
Because they had to jump. And listen, I don't know.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. I should look that up though, and I'll let you know the next episode. But
cool.
Yeah, that's something I want to know too, actually.
Yeah,
because I don't see how, because Marine Corps Bootcamp is the whole one of a kind. It's what makes Marines, and then from there you go into fleet, and then you know you do all your other stuff and become you know, whatever you need to be from there. But the foundation of being a Marine, I don't know if you could just go into the fleet. Yeah, it's weird. I'll be like
anchor. Yeah, you got yeah.
Like if I saw a sergeant or a lieutenant, or captain that just came from a different branch of service and started try to learn, like, dude, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
You don't know anything. You don't know. We have, and as Marines, if you never went to boot, the one thing that makes Marines all like the brotherhood and sisterhood, whatever, and the camaraderie is so strong. It's boot camp because we all went through that one basic, foundational training that we all, no matter if you're special forces or MARSOC, doesn't matter. You all went through that hardship together, and we all know because the system, everything was the same. The system was the same. The drill instructors, how they spoke to you, everything was pretty much by a book.
Yeah.
So we all went through that. And so that's why I think it's even, and it's really hard, like hardship. And when you go through hardship with anybody, you tend to get closer, like, oh man, we made it, oh, you went through that too. Oh, me too. We're closer. You don't become closer by acknowledging that we both like pizza, or, oh, you went to vacation to the Bahamas too. Oh yeah, me too. Oh, what a beautiful place. Okay. And that's it. But when you went through something like, oh man, you survived that too. Yeah, it was tragic, and you become closer. A lot more things happen when you go through misery and hardship, or some kind of trouble or something. It's a different effect.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off that, honestly, because I'll tell you right now, I don't care if you didn't go to war or anything. If you went to boot camp, you're a Marine in my eyes. Like,
of course.
I hate when other Marines downplay other Marines for not going to war, because my thing is they signed up, they signed the contract, they went through boot camp. So speaking of hardships and everything, so don't be knocking my fellow Marines that never went to war.
Yeah,
I was almost that Marine, but I got,
or anybody. I think, or anybody that serves shouldn't. Serving is serving. Yeah. So in that sense too, we all have a bond where no matter what branch you are, you stepped up to the plate. Yeah. Even you decide to go here or here. I don't went here. Doesn't matter. We all stepped up to the plate. Yeah. And that's a bond too, just as veterans. And so we don't have veterans that just went we have, obviously, everybody individually have their own individual achievements and experiences, but as a whole, we all stepped up to the plate, and we provided, like, we served. And that's the bond that I think a lot of veterans have. Vast majority. Yeah. While you're in, I don't see that. I mean, you see it with it's more competitive.
Yeah.
So amongst Marines, or amongst soldiers or sailors, within the Marines who went to, let's say, combat, or amongst Marines who's infantry, or amongst there's within that, there's healthy competition. I think it's healthy. I think it's very healthy to say that you're better than the other person in that sense, because I think that's one reason why Marines are so successful in what they do in battle, is because they have that fucking pride.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that pride can kill you, but in this case, I think it can save somebody else's life. Yeah. Because that's why you see all these and not just Marines, but in the military, you need that sense of pride, because that's how we have people jumping on grenades, saving a team, saving your friends, because
sacrificing.
Yeah, because they know I mean, I don't want to say speak it's solely on pride, but it's that it is that pride that the mission's important, and there's bigger and more important things. The pride of, like, the Marines and the mission is more important than me.
Yeah.
And that's a different type of pride, I want to say, selflessness, but it's also very prideful that, I love this country so much. It's like saying that I'm so prideful of this country that I'm willing to sacrifice my life, by joining the Marines, or joining the Air Force, or joining the, whatever. And that's a sense of pride, but it's also selflessness in the same thing, because you're so prideful of something that you're willing to give it up, yourself up for that thing. And that's the pride. It's different from the pride that maybe civilians are used to, like, oh yeah, he's so proud of himself, like, yeah, it's a cockiness, that's like being proud, what I'm talking about. It's like different pride, but and it's the few that proud, the Marines. No.
Okay. Well, never leave a man behind. I love that slogan, because that's so true. Like, when we used to all kick it, like, yeah, we kick it hard, we work hard, play hard. And I just feel like, that sense of you being a Marine and you going through that, like, if you could go through boot camp, you could go through anything. That's how I feel. Just like I always tell everybody. And once a Marine, always a Marine. You're not Yeah. So
Definitely. Boot camp is the foundation in the sense that for other training that's going to lead up to your next, 3.5, 3 years, next 4 years, like, whatever, it's definitely going to prepare you, because that definitely helped me with that. Obviously it's common sense. That foundation is going to build you into this machine, and then from there on you just got to keep adding on to that machine, adding on stuff to yourself. So that's like when I went to Sears, or when we go to, people go to corpus course or any kind of training, but more training, or to the field, whenever it's going to be harder, it's not as bad as going through boot camp,
yeah.
unless you're trying to go through it's like you become a sniper or some special ops
Navy
people,
SEALs,
Navy
Ranger.
SEALs or Rangers or MARSOC
Yeah.
Raiders. Yeah, unless you're trying to go to that, and even at that, yeah, you're even there, you're still treated like a human being in a sense, because you're still a sergeant, or you still have rank, you're still a Marine, or whatever, but they still talk to you like ship, I'm guessing, but not as bad as like Marine Corps Bootcamp, where you're you have to speak in third person, you have to do certain things. The training is obviously the training in like special ops and snipers and stuff like that, the elites, is very difficult. It's
Yeah.
very difficult. It's very, there's nothing to compare. I don't want to like say, oh, because you went through boot camp, you could do that. No, it's not like that. I'm just saying, right?
Correct yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want people to think it's like, from there on everything's begins downhill. No, it's
It's still
very
adverse.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very. You have to. Yeah, when I came out of boot camp, I felt very fucking strong, like a different person, very
Mentally
different,
and physically, huh?
mentally and physically. And then that's where, from there on, I just always wanted to just better myself, because I was like, holy crap, I became this new person, physically and mentally. Like, everything changed. Obviously, as time got better, or times changed, I changed too. Like, you better yourself. At least you try to. I hope.
I hope.
At least, yeah. I mean, that would be the goal, to better yourself every day. From, in theory, you should be better than who you were yesterday.
Yeah.
That should be the process. But who knows? I
Oh
don't
no.
know. But all right, so yeah, we got second squad. I mean, phase 2 was, and then you go, so rifle range. That's swim call, and then rifle range. Rifle range. I told you I was the artist recruit.
Yeah.
So
You designed the
one,
logo.
yeah, so I had to draw and paint our rifle range flag that we attached to our platoon flag. So whenever we go, I don't know if we attached it to it, or there's two, and I'm not sure. I forget. But we had to carry that every time we go to the rifle range,
Yeah.
and that was our rifle range flag. It was badass, man. It was badass. It was like, I told you, right? It was like a skull, K-bar. It was like the recon logo, Force
Yeah.
Recon logo, with the skull and a K-bar in his mouth, and then two machine M16s cross rifles in the back with eagle, with the wings,
Yeah.
with
You
the
think
wings coming.
you think you can
Huh?
mimic that drawing again?
I can mimic it, but it's not. And I don't remember it to the T. I'm like trying to think about it. I remember most of it. It was badass. It was nice. And I told you, all the other drill instructors and seniors from other platoons came to our squad bay just to look at the thing, and I would be like, yeah,
That's
word
me.
got around. Yeah, word got around that, oh, somebody's drew a sick flag. Platoon 3000 whatever has a sick flag, and we had a sick flag. We won rifle range.
Sick.
Yeah, we won. Our platoon won. And I was happy, man. Our senior was fucking happy, because I think that's more important than drill. We lost because senior wanted to win final drill.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by winning, your platoons competing with other platoons in your graduating class, or graduating platoons, whatever you want to call it, cohort, right? And and all the, they tally up all the scores, how many experts, how many pizza box, how many
Sharpshooter.
sharpshooters,
Yeah.
and they calculate all that score and they say who wins, and we won that shit. We lost final drill, and my senior was so fucking disappointed. He was so mad at us.
Ah,
Not mad at it, he was like just disappointed,
yeah.
and he left. Like after he was just disappointed. And I don't know. He also said like, the people who are the people who are keeping score too didn't, because he gets graded too on that.
Mhm.
The senior gets, remember, because at the final drill, on the competition final drill, it's your platoon and your senior. Your senior is the one singing cadence and directing you, and then you have to perform in front of the judges. You have to perform in front of the judges, and that's when they grade you and then see if you win or not. And then we lost. And he went. I remember him walking home. Like I saw him in the window, and he was walking home with a senior hat, and he had a briefcase kind of thing, and he's just trotting along in the sunset. That's how I remember that. I don't know why. I just remember him trotting along in the sunset. His head is still high, shoulders are good, like and like trotting along, but like marching down the sunset. I just remember, and disappointed. I just saw him in the window, and I'm like, damn. But I don't know why. And I just remember saying to myself, I don't know why he's not happy about rifle range. Where as a Marine, I would think rifle range is the sickest thing to win.
Yeah, because you guys
Like it's a shooting. Yeah, who's the best shooters? I
yeah.
don't. You guys come with me to war. not who's the best drill. Yeah. Oh, we won drill. Give me the shooters. Give me the platoon with the best shooting.
Yeah.
With the best shooters. I'm just joking though, but yeah, no,
So what could they expect for we're gonna still talk about boot camp on the next episode?
Yeah, we can still go into it. We'll
Because we didn't even touch on gas chamber. We'll touch a little bit on
well, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, we're all over the place, but it doesn't matter. That's how it is.
Crucible is like something you kind of got to go through. I can't really explain.
Yeah, I think Crucible we could talk about more next episode because phase 3 alone it could be just one whole episode because it's a lot. I mean, that's what you're technically building up for the Crucible. Everything's the Crucible. Everyone, I remember, just everybody was always like to the senior recruits, like to whenever we got to speak with them, like, oh, how's the Crucible? How's we're always like, is it really hard? Is it really tough?
You guys had it month 3. We had it month 2, bro. Like, yeah, for us.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because for us, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? Yeah.
Because the way
areas, so yeah.
The way we did it was that if you once you pass the Crucible, you become a Marine.
Nah. Yeah, I mean, you get the Eagle Globe and Anchor, but you get to walk month phase 3, like
so the way that so from what I was told, was that month 3, which is phase 3, you go to the Crucible, and then once you finish the Crucible, this is old school. This is before me. Once you finish the Crucible, that's when you get your Eagle Globe and Anchor, and that's when you become a Marine. They changed that. Now it's after your Crucible. Excuse me. You went during graduation. You get your. Was it graduation? Yeah, during graduation you get your Eagle Globe and Anchor, and that's when you become a Marine. And it changed. That's those are little things that changed. But after the Crucible is when the drill instructors did a total change.
Yeah.
Of how they spoke to us and how they treated us. They gave us way more responsibility.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like mid phase 3 maybe, because there was like still 2 more weeks left, 2 to 3 more weeks left of boot camp after the Crucible. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta go back into like and look that up.
For us, because it was in 2 different areas. Because I remember like month 2 because it was in Polgas. Because like MCRD doesn't have. We did a little ritual on in the field. So that's why, like, I remember it for us in Cali, it was month 2. So.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. We gotta look that up. We gotta fact check this Fact check this guy, folks.
Man.
I want to disagree. I'm thinking it was phase 3
Yeah,
Crucible.
because
It
like I
makes
said,
more sense though.
yeah, it does, but like, I
Do you
guess
really remember it being phase 2?
yeah, because it was at
Well,
Polk. I remember. Yeah.
I'll tell you this much: your memory isn't the best.
Whatever.
You're
See?
all over the place. We're all over the place. I'm just saying too. I can be totally wrong,
Yeah,
you know. But I'm just saying. I think it would make more sense for Crucible to be near the end,
yeah,
because that's how it was. You would become a Marine once you finish the Crucible, because you went through all the challenges and the march, the hump back. The
yeah,
hump, you had to hump there and then hump back. I think it's like 17 miles in total,
yeah.
right?
'Cause for us, that's why we do our humps in Polkas. We don't do it at MCRD like that.
So maybe it is different. I don't know.
So whatever. That's why
May-
I know I'm right.
yeah, maybe West Coast has it all weird and
Nah, it's
wrong.
not weird. It's the truth. It's the real truth.
That's
Uh,
so wrong. I mean, it would make more sense to have it at the third phase. Like, all right, this is like the big training that
finale. Yeah, it's your
yeah,
finale. Yeah, yeah.
it is the finale. But yeah, anyway, so when you come back, and then we'll get more into it, because like even like,
You could fact
oh
check it,
man,
but I know I'm right, but
I'll look into it. I'll look into it, because I still want to learn. Like, I still want to look how it was, even back in the 70s. It's probably even crazier.
oh, come on now. Yeah, of course.
Like during Vietnam era.
Pretty sure they threw people down the hump like
Oh, probably. I don't know. Watch Full Metal Jacket. I mean, Full Metal Jacket was like, um, I think it was like filmed in England or something.
Oh, it is? Yeah.
Well, Stanley Kubrick, he's I believe he's English. He's a master. He's the master. Anyways, so yeah, it's this phase 2. Yeah, because how could you have Crucible and then rifle range at the same time?
No. So it was rifle range, and then because Crucible was the end of like phase 2, like somewhat.
So what the hell what did we do in phase 3 then? Or did you do in phase 3?
Phase 3 was just like final drill, like I don't know. It was just basically
Yeah,
getting
because
up.
I know the last couple of weeks you're a Marine, and now I remember the last week especially, because now your family starts to come. You have Libo
Thursday.
family day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
family.
family day. That's like the last 3 days, right? The last
Yeah,
4 days.
yeah. That's
So
like the
that's already 1 week of the month that's you know contributing to graduating, because there's like a whole. I remember there was like a week or two that was just focused on polishing up your uniforms.
that's the
polish,
phase 2 for sure. But
yeah, polishing up like on just becoming a human being again. Going back into they're making sure that you're not a nut job, and unleashing you into society.
yeah.
They want you to become back.
They don't want Gomer piles all around everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you for tuning in, guys. Definitely, if you
Mhm.
want questions answered, we put our links there. That's our handles: IG, TikTok,
TikTok and
whatever's.
Twitter. That's my Twitter. How about you? Is that
That's my Twitter too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Twitter, man. I'm not really active on it either. It brings out the worst in me. It's so toxic.
Yeah, it is.
Everybody's
Toxic in Twitter. Yeah.
everybody's so toxic, man, in there. It's just crazy. I like to peep in there, I like to look in, see what's going on at times, but once I get into the comments,
Ooh, yeah.
everybody's nasty to each
nasty.
other. Everyone's so bad to each other, and then you feed off that, and you want to reply and say something too, and you're like, all right, stop. And I'm like, stop. I'm just one of my buddies. He always sends me. He tweets a lot. Like he doesn't tweet a lot, but he's on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, you got to get off that. It's
It's
toxic, man.
Yeah, I feel that. Then get on Reddit, huh? No, just kidding.
I like Reddit too. I like to get my Reddit from, I go to Reddit for like certain information.
Yeah.
I always see what the Reddit community has to say about whatever it is. So I will Google whatever and then put Reddit at the end and see what people. I mean, that's where you could get real, honest
facts and opinions.
Well, what they did, yeah, facts. Like, I'm trying to do this. Is there anybody,
Yeah.
you got real life people telling you. That's why one thing I like about Reddit. But all right, man, let's do this next episode. We'll go into a little more boot camp and then go into probably MCT or combat training.
Wow, we're
Yeah.
really doing the journey. Okay.
Yeah, right. Oh man, I mean we'll still hopefully. I mean we're gonna get it all the way up to Iraq, all the way to all the way up to
We could talk a
deployments.
little bit. Yeah, we could talk about. Yeah, I'm down to talk about that. I'll share some experiences, but not the full.
Later on. I mean we still got to talk about. I mean we'll talk about it. You'll be
All
fine.
right, guys.
You'll
Well,
be fine.
have yourself a blessed day.
All right, have a good one.
Yee.